Thank you, because now I'm very excited to introduce someone who is gonna delight us with her keynote speech. You know about it, it was in the agenda, is the best dish of the day, even after all we had already. And for me, I'm very happy about this moment. And let me first introduce you, Luisa Montalvo. Luisa Montalvo was born and raised in South Texas. She later moved to Austin, Texas, where she worked at Abbott Laboratories for 25 years. She retired at the age of 53. I really want to be like you, Luisa. And has been busy rescuing homeless dogs and cats and driving them to New York from the past 3 years. Amazing. She has fostered and cared for over 850 homeless dogs. I'm really with you because I really love dogs. She first joined Toastmasters in 1989 for 3 years when she worked at our laboratories. But then she rejoined again in 2013, and it was in 2019 when she competed in the Toastmasters World Class of Public Speaking against 33,000 people, other contestants, from 143 countries. She made it to the final stage, and actually she was awarded like the first runner-up. Don't say that, but I actually preferred you, Luisa. I really did. Now, with all of you, Luisa Montalvo with her keynote, Stop, Look, and Listen.
Hello, hello, District 107. How is everybody? Thank you. So good to see you. I apologize right now, but as you were informed, I do transport for dogs. Can you start this? And right now, I'm actually headed to New York City. You see, where I'm actually on transport right now, taking about 20 dogs up to New York City. Thank you so much. Of course, when I agreed to do this Zoom meeting, it was about a month ago. So I never know where I'm going to be, but I always say yes. And here I am on the bus headed to New York City. Thank you again for having me. And what I'd like to do is my keynote will be in 3 different sections: stop, look, and listen. I will be timing myself. Each section should be anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes. So for the first section, just so you don't get bored, I've gone and cut it up into 3 sections. The first section is stop. If I were to ask you right now how old you were, and if you didn't know how old you were, what would your answer be? Would you say 15, 30? Sometimes I feel like I'm 90. At least my body lets me feel like I'm 90. But personally, a lot of the times, I feel like I'm 18. I feel like I'm still a young kid wondering what is going to happen with my life, wondering what I'm going to be doing with my life. I think most of you, as you were kids growing up, you probably had dreams. You knew exactly what you wanted to do, and you knew exactly what you wanted to be. I did too. I wanted to be an actress on the stage. Yes, I wanted people applauding for me. And then I saw that everybody on TV was beautiful. My sister is the beautiful one in our family. And then I thought, well, if I can't do that, I'm going to be a veterinarian because I love animals and I want to help take care of them. But my brother is the smart one in the family. So I did something that I think a lot of us do. I let go of my dreams. I let go of the dream of being on stage as an actress. I let go of the dream of being a veterinarian. I wasn't as smart as my brother. So I did what a lot of us do. I got a regular job. I went to my job every day. I punched in, I punched out. It really wasn't a job I wanted, but it paid the bills. It was a good job. I worked 4 or 5 days a week. it was all right. Luckily, my father gave me some good financial advice. So I was able to retire at the age of 53. And I thought, this is going to be great. I'm going to be able to stay in bed. I'm going to be able to watch Oprah and the Ellen Show. I'm going to be able to walk around in my pajamas all day. Oh, wait, didn't we all just do that? COVID? Yep, I think we all just did that for a year. I'm so glad I realized that really wasn't what I wanted to do. So I got on Facebook and I saw an ad and it said, can someone take care of a mama dog and her 4 puppies just for 2 months? I thought, I can do that, and I'm helping the animals. My problem is that once they realized I wanted to help the animals, they also learned I couldn't say no. So then they brought me another family and 2 more dogs and then 4 more puppies. And before I knew it, I had 89 dogs in my backyard. But what was it about that? It didn't bother me. Why? Because it's something I had always wanted to do. I had wanted to help the dogs. So when I ask you, how old do you think you are? I still feel like I'm 18 a lot of times. And I'm so glad I do, because I want you to realize that no matter what your age is, if you're not pursuing your dreams, if you're not following something that you've always wanted to do, ask yourself why. Why aren't you? I was lucky enough to be able to take care of animals. You see, if I had become a famous movie star, I probably wouldn't be talking to you today. And I realized that me talking to other people is what I really love doing. And I thank Toastmasters for giving me that ability. And as for being a veterinarian, if I had become a veterinarian and if a little boy had come into my office and I would have to tell him that his dog was too sick to be able to live, I don't think I would have been able to tell that little boy that I wouldn't be able to save his dog. So I want you to do yourself a favor. Go back, analyze your dreams. What is it you've always wanted to do? Are you doing that right now? And if you're not, why aren't you? Oh, I understand. A lot of us are married. We have kids. You have other obligations. But that doesn't mean you have to let go of your dreams completely. You can volunteer. If you like helping older people, volunteer at a nursing home. If you like helping animals like me, you can volunteer at a shelter and go and be important to animals there that need you. Whatever it is you want to do, trust me, there is a way for you to do it. You might not be getting paid to do it in the beginning, but you never know. Don't give up on your dreams. If it wasn't for Toastmasters, I'm realizing that I wouldn't have gotten as far as I've gotten in the animal rescue world. And let me tell you why. I was helping one rescue. In fact, I helped her for about 3.5 years, and I would volunteer. I would go pick up animals from the shelter. I would quarantine them. And then just recently, I've started to drive them up to New York where they're going to get good homes. This lady that ran the rescue asked me if I wanted to give a speech at one of her big fancy dinners. Each plate at this dinner was $100. Wow. And she wanted me to give a speech? What an honor. I told her I had won a little contest in 2019 where I'd competed against everybody in the world. And she said, okay, whatever, you can do your speech. I got on stage and I started doing my speech. I talked about how I was so grateful that everybody was helping all these animals here in South Texas. I talked for about 15 minutes. And thanks to Toastmasters, I think it was an almost perfect speech. When I exited the stage, I got a standing ovation. Everybody stood up, clapping and cheering. Everybody was crying because of the reality of what is happening to the animals. Once I sat down, the lady came over and she said, Luísa, I would like you to meet a friend of mine. She owns a business. Her name was Cindy. I said, hello, Cindy. Nice to meet you. Cindy looked at me and said, Luísa, that is probably one of the best speeches I've ever heard. And I want you to know, because of your speech, I am donating $25,000 to this organization. $25,000. That was a lot of money. But thanks to Toastmasters, I was able to deliver a speech. And with that donation, she was able to save so many other dogs that needed saving. I've learned that now I want to start my own dog organization where, down in South Texas, people that cannot afford to get their animals fixed, spayed, or neutered will be able to come to an event that I want to put on where they will be able to do that for free. Toastmasters has allowed me to be able to fill this dream of mine that I have. If I can go and raise $25,000 for an organization that isn't even mine, I can only imagine how much I can raise and how many dogs we can save if I give a speech here or there and people donate. This is going to be absolutely amazing, and it is part of my dream. So one more time. I just turned 62, so you cannot say that you are too old to start following your dreams. Please realize, whatever it is, start small, but make sure to keep following your dreams. This concludes part 1. Thank you. Part 2 of Stop, Look, and Listen is look. Look, Luísa, there's always next year. You didn't win the contest at district this year. You can go ahead and compete again next year. I had competed 6 years in a row and had never won district. I remember the first time that I competed at district, I knew I had the perfect speech. It was going to be amazing. I was going to win the first year I went to district. I didn't even place. I remember driving home, crying, telling my God, why didn't you let me win? You knew I wanted to win. And the reason I say my God is because I do not want to offend some of you. I want to offend all of you. I asked my God, why didn't you let me win? You knew that's what I really wanted. I told myself, believe it or not, that I was going to quit Toastmasters. If they couldn't see that I should have won that contest, I didn't want to compete anymore, and I didn't want to be in Toastmasters anymore. I missed the first meeting the next week. I missed my friends. I missed table topics. I missed everything about Toastmasters. The second week came, and I went to the meeting. I realized that what I needed to do was find a way to make my speeches better so that the next time I competed, I would win. You see, to be quite honest, all of us want to win. But do you know how to lose? Not very many of us know how to lose. In fact, when we lose, we get upset. I went and blamed the judges that they didn't know what they were doing. When I should have said, Luísa, it could have been a better speech. I went back to YouTube and I looked at all the other previous winners that had won at the international level. I started noticing the same things. There was a pattern. I started adapting. I started writing my speeches to be able to win. So the second year, when I went to district, I knew I was going to win. And I didn't. I didn't win the third year, not even the fourth. The fifth year, I didn't even make it to district. The sixth year, nothing. And the seventh year, which was in 2019, I told my mentor, Phyllis Allen, who just turned 91 and has been in Toastmasters 43 years. I told her, Phyllis, if I don't win this year, I'm done. I'm not competing anymore. I'm tired of losing. She looked at me and she said, you know what, Luísa? If this is your last year, can you do me a big favor? Sure, Phyllis. What do you want me to do? Can you just go have fun? Fun? At a district contest? Are you kidding me? I'm in this to win, Phyllis. I'm not here to have fun. This isn't an amusement park. I want to win. Luísa, it shows you're too serious. You need to lighten up. You need to have fun. Maybe what she said was true. Maybe I was taking this too seriously. Maybe that's why I wasn't winning, because I looked at it like a job instead of having fun. That time when I went to district, I said hi to everybody. Everybody was shocked. I used to never talk to anybody. I used to keep going over my speech in my head. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to get distracted. I was there to win. But in 2019, I went with a different attitude. Okay, I'm here to have fun. Hey, how are you doing? How's it going? Yep, I'm competing. Good luck to you. That's great. I got on stage at district. I gave my speech, another perfect speech, and I won district after 7 years. Toastmasters had taught me how to lose. Toastmasters had taught me how to adapt, how to change myself, reinvent myself. I was so happy. And I went back and I thanked my mentor, Phyllis Allen, for letting me know that I needed to start having fun at Toastmasters. Well, you know what happened after that. I went ahead and went on to win region. And then from there, I went to the semifinals and then to the finals. One gentleman from my district, District 55, posted on Facebook, we have a contestant from District 55 and she could go all the way to first place. Was he talking about me? Why would he say that? I didn't even know him. I'd only heard his name once or twice. But I'll be honest with you, when you give your speech to family and friends, what do they always tell you? Oh, that was a great speech. It's really funny. You're really good. Stop giving your speeches to family and friends. They're just going to tell you what you want to hear. Go and talk to somebody. Give your speech to a complete stranger and tell them, be honest with me. How can I improve? And you know what? A stranger will tell you exactly what you need to improve. I remember one time when I competed in the humorous contest. I gave my speech and I won first place at district. A gentleman came up to me and said, you know, Luísa, if you would have been competing somewhere else, that speech wouldn't have worked. I almost got mad at him. And then I thought, wait a minute. why is he telling me this? Instead of me getting mad at his evaluation, I said, excuse me, why wouldn't that speech work? I was waiting for an intelligent answer, but all he said was, well, it just wouldn't. Well, what am I supposed to do with that kind of evaluation? Now, if he would have told me, oh, well, because anywhere else, they don't like short Hispanic women with 3 chins. Oh, okay, I can work with that evaluation. You see, sometimes when people try to tell us what it is we need to do to give better speeches, instead of us taking it, we take it personally. I am so very grateful that Toastmasters how to lose and how to win. Now, I went back and I evaluated why my God didn't let me win first place. And then it all became very clear. Aaron Beverly, who won first place, had won second place a few years back. And I started getting all these invitations to go to Madrid, to Portugal, to Lithuania, to Saudi Arabia to give my speech because I was first runner-up. And then what happened? COVID. Nobody was traveling anywhere. You see, if I would have won first place, I wouldn't have been able to travel any of those places that I would have gone to. I immediately called up Aaron Beverly and I said, oh my gosh, Aaron, congratulations on winning first place. But now you can't go visiting all these places around the world. You know what he told me? He said, Luísa, when I won first runner-up a few years ago, I got to travel the world. I was invited to so many different countries, so I was already able to travel. I'm so glad it went the way it did. I would have been disappointed if I wouldn't have been able to travel. So now I realize that if I win first place, hopefully we don't have another COVID, and hopefully I'll be able to travel. It's one of my favorite things to do. I went to Puebla, Mexico, the only place I was able to attend for their district conference in November, right before COVID hit. I gave my keynote, and believe it or not, I gave it in Spanish. I remember telling the audience, I said, I can give this speech in English and speak slowly, or I could give it in Spanish and speak even slower. They all started to laugh and applaud, and they said, Spanish, Español, Español. And I said, oh, you haven't heard my Spanish yet. I was really proud of myself that I was able to give my speech in Spanish. And even though I'm sure I made a lot of mistakes, everybody there in Puebla was encouraging me because they knew at least I was trying. After I gave my keynote, I walked off the stage, people came up, I took pictures with everybody, and one little old lady, okay, she's my age, she's not that old. One little lady came up and told me, Luísa, congratulations. You are the first Hispanic woman to get it all the way up to first runner-up. I am? She says, yes. Wow, I didn't know that. She says, congratulations. And she walked away, and then she turned around and said, Luísa, good luck on trying to win first place next year. What? I got to do this again? Another 7 years? Are you kidding me? Aren't you happy with second place? I'm happy with second place. That's when I realized I am now on a different mission. I'm not in this now to win first place for myself. I'm in this to try and represent my heritage. With Miss Universe, Miss Mexico just winning Miss Universe, we are breaking glass ceilings And this is now something I want to do. So in case any of you are judges at the next international contest and you see me there, thank you so much. This is the end of the second part of Stop, Look, and Listen. The final section, listen. I remember being at home, living with my mom and dad, my brother and sister, and I was tired of it. I didn't want to live at home anymore. I walked into the kitchen as my mother sat there washing dishes, and I told her, Mom, I don't want to live here anymore. I'm running away. She stopped washing dishes, looked at me and said, Luísa, you're 6 years old. Where are you going? It was true. I was 6 years old and I had out. Then she looked at me and she said, can I run away with you? What? You want to run away, Mom? Yes. Sometimes I don't like living here either. Your dad wants dinner on the table when he gets home. I have to do laundry. Then all of you have to take a bath and do your homework. Sometimes I don't like living here either. She looked at me and said, can I please run away with you? Okay, I guess. She said, go pack a few clothes and I'm going to make a picnic basket for us. I ran to my room and grabbed a few pair of shorts and shirts and I put them in my little luggage. When I went to the kitchen, she had already made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for us and had poured some orange juice in a glass. She put everything in the picnic basket and we left the house. We were running away. I kept looking at her because I had never run away before, and she acted like she had done this a few times. We walked all the way down the alley, and there at the end of the alley, they were constructing a new expressway. She looked at me and said, why don't we stop here and eat, and we can watch them make the new expressway? Okay, sure. She went and put the blanket out on the ground. She took all the food out and the drink, and we started eating. And for the next 15 minutes, neither one of us said anything. I kept looking at her to see what she was going to do. After we finished eating our sandwiches and drinking our juice, she looked at me and said, can we go back now? Yes, I wanted to go back home. I missed the security of being at home. She packed up everything back in our picnic basket and we walked back home. You see, my mother had done something that maybe a lot of us don't do. She listened to me. She realized that when I said I wanted to run away, she could have said anything like, well, you're lucky you have a bed and you're lucky you have a roof over your head. She didn't say that. She listened to me and realized I wanted to leave the house. So we left. Toastmasters has taught me to listen. I try to listen now because what I used to do is what a lot of us do. Like right now, I'm giving a speech, and if I say, I found a kitten yesterday, then some of you members in the audience would think, oh, kitten, I don't like kittens. I'm allergic to kittens. I like dogs. Well, no, I don't even like dogs really that much. I don't have a dog or a kitten. I like it that way. You see, when somebody starts talking, what we start to do is we start to put a little table topic speech ready in our head in case someone asks you something. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be listening to whoever is talking. Don't worry about coming up with an answer. In fact, if I ask you, what do you think? You can always reply with, I'm sorry, I wasn't preparing a table topics in my head. I was listening to what you were saying. I'm so grateful my mother listened to me that day, because after that, every other month or so, we would run away together. And so now if somebody asks me, you want to go run away? I'm like, oh yes, because I think it's going to be fun. I know it's going to be fun. This may be hard for some of you to believe, but I used to be the one that liked all the attention. I know, so hard to believe, right? I would walk into my mom's home and say, Mom, guess what happened to me today? Mom, guess what I did today? After joining Toastmasters and realizing I needed to start listening, when I walk into my mom's house now, you see, my mom is in the early stages of Alzheimer's. She doesn't remember what happened 5 minutes ago. She won't remember if she's already eaten breakfast or what she ate. So when I walk in, I'll have something to eat, and we'll sit down at the table, and I'll feed her just the way she used to feed me when we would run away together. Now, instead of asking her, what did you do today? What have you eaten? Have you slept? Now, because she has great long-term memory, I ask her, Mom, can you tell me about the time that you met Dad for the first time? And she remembers every single detail. You see, my parents were married for 57 years until my father passed away. She tells me about the day, that night that she met him. She went out to go dancing with her friends, and there he was across the dance floor. He was wearing a beautiful, stunning blue suit with a white shirt and a blue tie. The first time he saw her, he walked across the dance floor and asked her to dance. She said her knees went weak, and she remembers the song they danced to. Are you lonely tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Every time I go to visit my mother now, I ask her something about when she met my father, or the day she got married, or the day one of us was born, and she remembers every single detail. I have to thank Toastmasters for making me realize that sometimes listening is better than talking. I've shared these 3 sections with you because I want you to stop putting off your dreams. Whatever it is you want to do in life, you can still do it. You can't use the excuse that you're too old. I want you to look and realize that if there's a goal out there that you want to succeed at, don't stop. If you really, really want it, you can achieve it. And listen. Start listening more instead of talking. Thank you, Toastmasters. Thank you, District 107, for having me. I appreciate you, and I hope the rest of your district conference goes amazing. Thank you.
This is amazing, Luísa. This is amazing. This is one of the marvelous benefits of having, online conferences. We could bring you here, we could have you here enlightening us, even if you are in a bus, and even if you had some issues right before. I'm really grateful for that, Luísa. Really, I mean it, because I know you had, sorry, I had some makeup somewhere. Yeah. because you really had some issues, but you finally made it. And as you said, you like to speak and you are always open to it.